Coach, any changes to your lineup tonight?
Yeah, Ennis will go in, Gadet will come out, Gus and net.
Basically just a 5-game reset kind of thing for Tyler. You've seen it in the past.
Yeah, Gods has played good too, but that's a lot of games to set out in a row for me. Enzo showed some hunger here in practice and some will to want to get back in and prove that he belongs to play every day. So we're going to give him a chance.
No extra discipline for Parker Kelly. Do you have to say anything to him going into this game about his game?
No, it's an unfortunate situation. I don't think the intent was there. I think the D's going down the boards. He's coming at him hard and he turns. It's unfortunate on both sides. The big thing is we want Parker to keep hitting and keep playing the same way. It's unfortunate what happened, but his game has to be physical.
Situation being with Matt Murray, you don't know exactly. You told us last time that you weren't sure about his condition, when he's going to come back or whatnot. Isn't it a good time for Gustafsson to establish himself as, if you want to see him as a regular goalie with this team, is it a good time for him? You're playing, next 6 days, you're playing 4 teams that are in your range, are the same points. It's just about, is that a good time for him to show that he could be an NHLer regularly?
Absolutely. It's like any one of these young guys that's trying to get in and stay in. You have to prove, you can do it. And, for him, he hasn't played a lot of games. He was down in the minors, played well down there. And now he has to prove it up here. So he'll get starts, and it's a really good time for him.
What do you have to do differently than obviously the last time you guys played Arizona 10 days ago?
Well, it was just a wild game up and down. We weren't very good defensively, and obviously they're hot. I mean, they beat Colorado, they beat us. I think they went in and blew out Detroit, and they beat Toronto. It took Boston everything to get them out of there. So they're obviously feeling confident, and they got some guys that can score. So we got to do some things a lot better than we did. Well, yeah, I think, when you have a team like that, he gets them to play hard. And, obviously they had some real tough times early, and they've had some good times right now. But as we know, with teams that are at the bottom, you're going to have tough times again. Right now they're riding a high. But it's, the league, there's some really good teams in this league. And it's tough to keep your foot on it all the time. You're going to need depth. And right now they're getting – tons of help from their lineup, but at the end of the day, the teams are at the bottom of the standings. They're there for a reason. Don't do it enough on a consistent basis, and in order to be in the playoffs and be in that top tier, you got to do it every night.
DJ, a couple of leads have gotten away from you guys. Is that a case where you look at your lineup and think, if I had a couple more veteran guys, it might be easier to lock the door when you get up 2 or 3 goals? Or
yeah, I mean, that's one way to look at it. The other way is to look at it that our young guys are gaining this experience, and they'll become the next guys that are going to help do that. But in the Chicago situation, I think the injury stalled Chicago, and they kind of froze them in the first period. And then I think with their captain getting in a fight, it woke them up. And certainly a different team came out in the second period, and we just weren't able to compete with them. So I don't know if that's giving up a lead or we just didn't play the right way after that.
You're 7 days to the deadline. How do you kind of make sure that those who are hearing your names are not distracted?
It's hard. I said before, these guys mentally, there's some nights I see, guys who are involved in that are just, not as good or not as sharp. Like I said, it's more than just you. It's your family. It's everything that goes with it. So, I can't wait for this to be over, and then we can, you're here, or, what your team looks like the rest of the way, and then we can just push from there. But it's not a good feeling for anyone that's involved.
Have you had any discussions with Pierre about at some point protecting your assets here in the next week?
As in
scratching guys who
No, we haven't. No, we haven't yet. Maybe that's something that comes. But I'll wait on him to let me know that. And my job's to try and, get these guys to play and play right every night. So, right now we don't have a surplus of guys around either. It's not like, we're flush with healthy people. You know, there's guys banged up in the minors too, so that'll make it even more difficult probably.
We just saw Zub exchange some hits with Sanford during exercises. No problem with that, or is this a good way to keep the competitive juices going?
Oh, no, I like it. I mean, when one guy didn't want to get scored on, the other guy wanted to score. So, you know, as long as they do it tonight, I'm fine with it.
Where's the line in that? Push and shoves a little
Yeah,
bit?
I don't know if there's too many fight. You know, back in my era, I think, you know, you'd have, you know, one a month. You'd have a good practice fight where the boys would be yelling and screaming, you know. The boys break it up pretty quick these days. So, and then it's usually done from there. So, you know, it's like every day you live with the same person at your house. You're going to fight with your brother or sister. It's no different. And I mean, sometimes they're a little testier than others. But for me, Sandy, anyways, he always has a good game after one of those. So when I see him slashing the boards or lipping with a teammate, he's usually good that night. So let's hope.
What do you think of his game lately? Has he been that kind of depth, power forward guy that?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's playing probably his most consistent hockey right now. You know, it isn't going in for him, but he's doing all the right things. He's being physical. That's the player that, you know, he was for St. Louis when they won the Cup. He's hard to play against. You know, he got into a fight. You know, he's doing a lot of things really well for us, so we hope we keep that up.
There's no update on Murray?
What's that?
There's no update on Murray?
No update, no. He's not close at this point to skating or anything. So Gus and Forsey will be our goalies here for the foreseeable future.
Drake, you're still looking after this homestand, perhaps?
Looks better every time I see him. I keep wondering why he's in a yellow. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, they'll tell me when he's ready. We're not gonna force him in there. So let's hope maybe you know, end of the month that he can get out there. But I know he's chomping pretty good. You know, he skated on an off day yesterday. He's doing a lot of stuff. He wants to play. You know, a lot of times guys at the end of the year take their time to come back. He wants to get out there.